Right, this has been sitting on the workbench for a few days now, so long that it's started to accrue its own accumulation of crap. So it's about time I open it up and had a look at it. This is an Evolution Rage 2 cold cutting metal saw. Well, not just cold cutting, multi-purpose cutting, as you can see there. So it's designed to be able to cut anything, sort of thing. Well, not anything, but steel, aluminium, wood with nails and screws and things in it, that sort of thing. Or with an optional diamond blade, you can cut through concrete. It comes with a metal blade rather than abrasive blade saws. So this will be a replacement for my Dewalt, hopefully. This is my first, just so you know, this was sent to me for free. As you're probably aware, this company is very keen on doing that. There's a lot of YouTube videos of people reviewing their products. So this is the first time I've ever done a review of anything that I haven't paid for myself. All my Makita reviews are all tools I've paid for myself. Any reviews on my site, apart from this one, I've paid for myself. Right, so having said all that, let's clear the shit off it and open her up. Now, just because I got this thing for free doesn't mean I'm going to go easy on this company. I first got contacted back in July, middle of July, asking if I was aware of their products and if I'd be willing to have them send me something to review on my channel. And I thought, oh yeah, free tools, cool. So it's now the middle of November, and after much back and forward trying to get them to send it, because wow, yeah. I finally got it. Comes with a 3-year guarantee, as you can see. Won't do in this country. I'm in New Zealand. This tool has come from the States. So even though I'm going to cut this open right now, I'm not going to be able to plug it in because it's 110, 120 volts. We're 240 down here. So I'm going to have to get a step-down converter. Transformer, I mean, if I'm going to get this thing to run. So anyway, let's have a look what's in here. It's a bit high on the bench here, isn't it? I might put her on the floor. First out of the box is, of course, instructions. Alright, and we've got some tools here. Comes with spare brushes. I'll have a look at those, see if they're any good. Not sure what that is, some sort of roller pin thing, I don't know. And an Allen key, presumably for getting the blade off, which never seen one that's the same length both ways. This looks like a clamp for holding tube. So it came with good old fashioned polystyrene packaging, which you don't see all that much nowadays. It seems to be sort of cardboardy stuff, compressed cardboard stuff. Don't know which I prefer. Cardboard's probably a lot easier to get rid of, I suppose, in the recycling bin in this country. Right, so this is a 14-inch saw, about 355 millimeters. It's got a fair bit of weight to it, which is a good sign, I guess. Now, what the hell is that? See, now this is the problem with this saw in my part of the world. They do make these saws for Australia and Europe and everything with 240 volts, and then in Australia they've got the right plug on, exactly the same as here. In New Zealand we use plugs that look like this. So you can see, New Zealand one's a bit bigger and different shape. So I have to get a step-down transformer for this. So this free tool is actually going to cost me around 140 bucks. So, bum. Not a great start. So yeah, they've sent me the American one. Could have sent me an Australian one, would have been really good. Anyway, let's take a closer look. It's a big old beast. We unlock this. What's this pin here? And that'll be for blade change. Where's the chain that holds this down? Oh, there it is. Ka-ching. Right. Well, first off, the finishing on there is real nasty. This looks like a very budget-made casting here. It's solid though. It's real solid. At least it's not plastic. It's a real thick-looking cast. Jeez. She wobbles and rattles. It's got an interesting blade guard system there. See, they come together so that only the very small amount of blade has to be exposed. Most of them sort of fling all the way up this way so that by the time you've got it down to that point, the whole blade, or half the blade, is exposed. But it does make it feel a little bit clunky and not sort of a little bit wobbly on it. The base is one of those sort of pressed steel, sort of punched out of a bit of steel. It's got a rough paint finish on it, so not too bad. It's got big rubber type feet. It's only got 3 of them. Okay, so it has three of these rubbery type feet, and on this corner just a piece of steel. So it's a bit of a bugger. I don't know why they couldn't put another foot there. I don't know why they put the steel there. They're worried about sparks getting to it or something. But that means these ones will wear out. This one won't, and you might end up with a bit of a wobbly saw. Depends on whether you're clamping it to a bench or you're moving it around, taking it to a job site, that sort of thing. Okay, there's the stop, which is a pretty simple design. Don't recall seeing a little spanner with it, so got to have your own spanner for that, but I suppose that's not the end of the world. But usually these sort of things come with those things. There's a very small area holding it onto the base, supporting the tool here. Very small. In fact, it's basically just holding the deflection guard here for the no sparks that this thing creates. Yeah, the whole thing, look at that. She wobbles side to side. A bit hard to see on the camera, but don't know if it's going to be the most accurate tool. It's sort of twisting. This area here is rocking back and forth when I give it a bit of a wiggle. The vise here runs very smoothly. Problem is, it's solid, so it's not a quick release sort of one. You can't slide it forward, quickly do it up. You've got a big bit of material, you've got to wind the thing out. Which isn't the end of the world. It's got a little hole there, which presumably is for that little handly thing. A little roll pin looking thing in here. So there we go, handle on. She moves easily, a bit clunky, but that's what you get with these sort of things. And this thing here, presumably, that's quite cool. Slides over there for holding your tube stock. Fairly simple. You got to loosen a couple of Allen keys there with your giant Allen wrench that you get with it, which is annoying when you have to do that. It's very hard to get them accurate on tools like that. So you got 0 to 45 degrees on there. This big weird Allen key. Yeah, these are always a bit of a pig. You can move it by the looks, up and down, depending on what you're cutting, and I would say how your blade's worn down, but of course this blade's not going to wear down. The carbon brushes are very carbony, quite soft. Got the grooves already on the edge like they do nowadays. They're pretty cheap though. And I mean, look at this one. Look how that's come. The spring hooked around there. Should be like that. Yeah, so these are reminiscent of all the cheap tools I bought over the years. Look at the carbon dust coming off them. Often, I don't know why, but cheap tools often give you brushes. It's sort of a bit of a giveaway, really. Got some marks already here on the base. Don't know if that's where this was sitting while it's been shipped and it's been scratching around on there. So the chain here stays attached, doesn't come loose. So let's just pull it down and then hook over the chain like so to lock it down. It's a little bit easy to come off that. Not that matters too much. Well, it will if you're carrying the damn thing and it pops open. Right, handle. This plastic feels real budge. Real budge. There's no rubbery elastomer, whatever the hell, over the top there. No over moulding. It's all just hard plastic. I guess with a saw like this, you don't really want rubber on anyway, because it might get sparks. The switch is fairly solid mechanism there. Feels quite stiff. The actual like niceness of it though, it feels shit. Just the plastic, it's sort of hard, square edge. There's no extra expense spared on that. Look at this, look at the finishing on here. Wow, that's pretty rough. They've been putting it together and somebody just had a good old go at it with a screwdriver, or the mould was just a piece of shit, one of the two. Got a plastic cover cap here. This bit here though is solid as. This is, feels like about 3mm thick. That's like cast iron maybe. Is it aluminium? Oh, feels pretty heavy, but it looks like aluminium on there. Have to have a better look at that in a minute. So let's have a look at the wee stats here. So she's a 355mm multi-purpose chop saw. It's interesting that that's in millimeters when it's an American saw. I think these saws originally, it's a British company, I think. Hard for me to see there. Geez, I need to go get my glasses. I'm getting old. Is it just me, or is writing getting smaller and smaller? Printing on things now is just so tiny. Or maybe I'm just old and blind. Anyway, so maximum thickness in mild steel, 1/4 of an inch, about 6mm, 12mm minimum cut off piece length. That's just so it doesn't jam in here. So it's about 12mm. What do we got? Maximum square, 4 3/4 inches. On a 45, 3.5 inches. Rectangle, 3 3/4 inches by 7 1/8 inch. Maximum rectangle 45. You can see all this blah 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 blah. I wanted the RPMs. Oh, there we go. 1800 watt motor, 1450. She's spinning it. So she's 14-inch blade with a 1-inch arbor. While I wait for the transformer to arrive, I'm going to take off the end here and have a look at the brush, where the brushes go in. Oh, shit. So it has a strange washer in the back there. I don't know what the name of that is. It's kind of like a spring washer type thing, which must go over the bearing there, I guess. Stop the bearing popping out. So that's going to be a pain in the ass to get back on. I'll have to tip it on its side to get that on. Anywho, let's have a look at the brushes. So nice and beefy in there. A lot of brass in there. That looks good. And the brush itself, I showed you the brushes before. Groove pattern on it there, pretty soft carbon brushes. See how long they last. Got the spare pair, so that's something. Let's have a look see in here. There's a commutator. The windings, got a light resin on them. not too shabby. Don't really like seeing. Geez, was I even videoing that? Yeah, have a look in there. So we've got a couple of cable ties just holding back the power leads there. Nothing too major. We've got the old-fashioned spring coil around the brush there. That's the way to do it. This type of brush though, they're bastard to get back in. Going easy like that, but then to get this cover back on can be a right prick without the thing trying to pop itself out all the damn time. Gotta be careful you don't cross thread the cheap plastic they usually make these things out of. Oh, got it. Oh, that wasn't too hard. Sometimes they can really piss you off. Right, I'm going to have to lay it on its side to get this bloody end cover back on. And then hopefully we'll put it to use. It has arrived. My step down transformer. Now this will go down, this will do 5,000 volts. Rip the box open, shall we? Whew, got a nice whiff of China there. I said China. Alright. It says it weighs 19 kgs on the box, but it's clearly not that heavy. So this will allow me to plug into New Zealand power, 240 volts. We have a plug like that. And then on the other side I can run American 110 to 120 volt appliances. Right, there's my review of that. Hopefully it works. Maybe I'll pull that apart one day and have a look inside to see if it makes it tick. Until then, let's put it to use on the saw. Don't you love the high quality of cheap Chinese junk? The no manual or anything came with this, of course, and the plug only fits in that one. It doesn't quite fit in there. Something's wrong with that one. So off to a good start. Let's turn her on. Makes an interesting noise when you flick the switch. Red light indicates it is on. I'll pull the trigger and see what happens. See if I blow anything. Got it hooked up to a residual current device there, or what would be called a ground fault interrupter in the US. Let's give this a whirl. Huh? Right, I've got it set up outside here now with the step down converter. She's all plugged in, ready to go. And this is the materials I'm going to be doing my test cuts on. So I'm going to start nice and light on the thing with a 40mm plastic plumbing pipe, and then this piece of timber, 50mm square, full of nails and shit. Some aluminium extrusion, a 1/2 inch 12mm galvanized threaded rod, crappy little thin bit of U-channel there. Then we've got this 5mm thick 75mm piece of steel, and then last but not least, this isn't actually going to be a test one. I need to cut this for making my wood box outside. This is 50mm tube with a 3mm wall. So that's the order I'm going to cut them in. So I'll whack through those, see how it goes, and then I'll give you my opinions on this thing. Now before you do anything like this, don't forget all your PPE, your safety glasses, your mask, your earmuffs, your regulation footwear, gloves, long sleeve. You don't want to get burnt and all this sort of stuff. So let's get stuck into it. so sweet. Tiny little bit of material to take off there, otherwise look at that, not even warm. That's perfect. You can just peel that off. Wow, very good. Well, I was trying to go slow on that one and it wanted to go faster. Nothing, look at that. Cold. Nice cut. A little bit chattery. Blade wobbles around a bit. Tell you what, if that blade didn't wobble, she'd be pretty damn good. Certainly like the fact that it's just stone cold. Doesn't need much finishing off. Much better than an angle grinder.
Wobbles like a chook with one leg. Sounds a bit rough too. It's up to full speed, sounds okay, but a bit clunky otherwise. Anyway, it did the job pretty good, so that's the main thing, I suppose. I'll finish doing some more work with this. So after my first play with it, let's just have a look at the blade, see if we've got any damage. I wouldn't want there to be, of course, but you never know, they all look pretty darn good. Yeah, I can't see any chips or anything. You just got to be careful with these sort of blades. You need to take it slow, respect the blade. So once you've lost a couple of teeth and these get a bit blunt, these blades spark like crazy. She's a good saw, apart from that little wibble wobble. Wasn't for that, she'd be quite the beast, but it's still very good.
So a few weeks have gone past, I've done a few more jobs with the saw, and yeah, she's done alright. I've managed not to chip a blade yet, so that's good, I'm happy with that. So let's just give a bit of a summary here. First of all, I'll just tell you about the other tools. This is in the sort of medium range, yeah. The medium range sort of tools for this company. So basically, they have three different categories, I guess you could say. They have a green DIY range, which all the tools are called Fury, and then that mostly consists of circular saws and miter saws. Then you've got the orange range, where everything's called Rage. So there's a lot of things, all the saws in there, circular saws, miter saws, chop saws, table saw. Table saw would be cool. I'd love a metal cutting table saw. Being able to cut sheets of steel on a table saw, that'd be awesome. So the orange is the trade range, and so there's a lot of products in that. They also do jigsaws, belt sanders, plate compactors, mag drills, all sorts of things. And then finally there's the industrial range, which are blue, and they're just slightly better versions, you know, slightly tougher, made to last sort of versions. And on the blue version of this, there's a few notable differences. One, the handle orientation, that way instead of that way. The adjustment here is with a handle, so you don't have to undo it with a bloody Allen wrench. There's built-in, somewhere here, there's a built-in area for the Allen wrench, which, see, I've already lost the damn thing, God knows where it is, which is good, because else, like I've just done, you lose it. I think it's still got this solid bit here, which is a bit of a shame. See, on my Dewalt abrasive saw, there's a flip up there, so you can slide this forward real quick, and then it will lock in as you turn it. So, and then quick release, slide the whole thing back out of the way again, instead of wind. So pros and cons of the thing. That is number one. This thing just takes whatever to wind in, and she wobbles around all over the place. So a nice one of those would be good. Yeah, having an adjustment on there would be very handy. Build quality wise, she's solid. I mean, this is, you know, aesthetically a bit rough, but the motor looks solid, the casing's solid, the handles are a bit plasticky. Just doesn't feel very comfortable. The trigger's a bit harsh on the soft hands. But otherwise, you know, I mean, this is going to last ages. That'll certainly last for anything I want to do. Quality of cut wise, it could be a little bit better if this didn't sort of wobble around. There's a lot of vibration in the thing, which just takes the edge off the niceness of the cut. But speed wise, compared to an abrasive chop saw, absolutely no contest. No contest at all. This kicks its ass. Somebody's dropping things upstairs. What are you doing up there? Yeah, so my Dewalt chop saw, my abrasive chop saw, I liked it when I first got it, but I mean, this thing just kicks its ass. It's just no competition at all. The speed at which this cuts compared to an abrasive chop saw, just forget about it. This is just so much quicker, so much less shit and sparks and stuff flying everywhere, so much nicer finish, and much straighter cut. Abrasive's wheels tend to deflect a bit, you haven't got it quite right, and they burn, and a piece of metal so bloody hot you can't touch it, and you've got a lot of finishing off with the angle grinder. This just much better. So on that front alone, it's worth it. You know, just compared to the alternative, much better. Oh, I won't ever cut anything with an angle grinder again with this thing, that's for sure. And I've got my little Makita cold cutting saw as well, which is just brilliant. Between those two, you know, the poor old angle grinder is going to be redundant. 5 angle grinders, what am I going to do with them all? Anyway, so is that open? So that's the Evolution Rage 2 cold cutting 14-inch 355mm chop saw. It's a good wee saw, and for the price, it's very good value. It's much cheaper than any of the other cold cutting saws that I've seen, you know, like of the good companies, Makita, Dewalt, all that sort of thing. So I think it's worth it, but just a couple of little tweaks. The wobbling of this, better adjustment here. You know, the blue version probably solved those problems. But for its price, very good saw. So thanks for watching, guys. You'll probably see this video. You'll probably see this tool in other videos coming up in the future. Till then, cheers. See you on the next one. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Or whatever you have instead of Christmas. Happy holidays, happy whatever. Don't want to offend anyone, you know. But Merry Christmas and stuff. Feel free to watch these videos on the side here. And now you're just done a ramble.